Good morning. Welcome to the morning show for Friday, the 10th of June. Special happy birthday out there to my friend from back in the neighborhood, S. Yes, his name begins with the letter S. And, he's about the same age as I am, I guess. I'm 59. Anyway, last night, sadness at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers went down to defeat to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Game 6 will be tomorrow night in Tampa Bay. The Rangers face an uphill battle. Did you know that in a best-of-7 series, when you have a team tied at 2-2 and Game 5, that team wins, that team goes on to win the series approximately 80% of the time. Those were the facts given by ESPN last night. But I have a good feeling about this. I feel there's still a good shot, and the Rangers can still pull it off, and then, of course, go off to the Stanley Cup Finals and face Colorado. Now, of course, in more serious news, the primetime hearings, the Select Committee on the Failed Insurrection, January 6, 2021, where we find that Trump said that Pence deserved it. To be hanged. Now, you guys know there were people there that day, very serious people. I know a lot of people said, oh, they were just saying hang Pence. They didn't really mean it. Come on, they were just messing around. It was a protest. Folks, this was anything but a protest. Now, some people, Trump, called a peaceful protest, which is a complete false allegation. It was a very violent protest. This was highlighted last night. And no, I didn't watch it live. I caught some of the highlights from Morning Joe. And let's face it, I've been covering the failed insurrection on January 6th and Trump's complicity in it for years now. Well, since it happened, pretty much. I mean, I've talked about these things, many, many great stories, all of which point to Trump at the center of the thing. Okay, it's time to go mobile and a song over to the Gulf gas station. I'm going to bring in Billy Joel with Don't Ask Me Why. Now, recently I've had some Billy Joel music on the program. We find out that it was blocked and not available for viewing in Russia. But otherwise, here in the good old USA, it was no problem for a Billy Joel number. There's nothing wrong with me joining Billy in the singing of a great tune in the mornings. And so in mobile mode.
Your grand cafe, leave their tables when you blink. Oh, every dog must have his every day. Every drunk must have his drink. Don't wait for answers, just take your chances. Don't ask me why. All your life you had to stand. Fire with fire. You are still a victim of the accidents you lead. Sure as I'm a victim of desire. They're all the servants in your new hotel. Roll their roses at your feet. Oh, fool them all, but baby, I can tell you're no stranger to the streets. Don't ask for favors. Don't talk to strangers. Don't ask all chances. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why.
All right, we're in mobile mode, heading to the Gulf gas station. It's just down the road a piece. The gas was $4.96.9 there at the Gulf gas station yesterday. $5.25 if you like that more expensive gas for your car. Perhaps your car likes mid-test as mine does a Malibu. And we continue here. We need to have something in the background. Something's got to come out. Korea, perhaps friends of the Eagles or friends of the multinational corporation that own the rights to their music. I must say that with few exceptions, I've had very, very little luck in getting Eagles songs to go over to YouTube. They typically come up, cannot show the video, and I have to trim it out. However, every once in a while you get lucky. For example, on my show entitled Do Something, the song made it through. From their album Long Road Out of Eden, Do Something, sung by Timothy B. Schmidt. Folks, don't forget, Timothy's new album called Day by Day is available now wherever you buy fine music online. Now I'm at the Gulf gas station. I'll be right back. You're listening to The Morning Show. We welcome now John Lennon to the program. Not this song in the background. No, I'm going to put it on. I am from the video Watching the Wheels. Ultimate Mix, posted out there by John Lennon. I don't know when. It must have been before he was shot dead in New York City in December of 1980. Maybe that's when he put it out there.
People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all kinds of warnings to save me from ruin. When I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kind of strange. Surely you're not happy now, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, trading my life away. Well, they give me all kinds of advice designed to enlighten me. When I tell them that I'm doing fine, watching shadows on the wall. Don't you miss the big time, boy, you're no longer on the ball. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just have to let it go. People asking questions, lost in confusion. Well, I tell them there's no problem, only solutions. Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I lost my mind. I told them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round.
right, that was the ultimate mix. Now, the next song that would play automatically if I don't stop it is Sir Elton John with Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. A fantastic song. Of course, I did it last night. Posted out there on YouTube by Piffle Cree. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Absolutely fantastic thing. Now, I'm going to actually switch off now to another great tune that I like to do. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to frantically type the thing in. I'm thinking, how about Rick? Yeah, Rick rolled.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. There's no commitments I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye.
All right, you wouldn't get that from any other guy but Rick Astley. I've been Rick rolled. I join him in the singing of it, absolutely. Now, Never Did No Wandering. Oh, yeah, from the Mighty Wind, the motion picture, the folks.
My mama was the cold north wind. My daddy was the son of a railroad man from western hell, where the trains don't run. Never heard road, and it goes from here to there, and they say you carry a heavy load when you're rolling down the line somewhere. Never seen the dance of the telephone poles as they go whizzing by. No, I never did know 100. Never did know 100. Never did know 100 after all. Never did know 100 high. Never did know 100 low. Now a sailor's life is a life for him, but it never was for me. And I've never soared where the hawk may soar, or see what the hawk might see. Never hiked to heaven on a mountain trail, never rode on a river's range. No, I never did know 100. Never did know 100. Never did know 100 after all. Never did know 100. I never did know 100. Never did know 100 after all. Never did know 100 after
All right, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, and Christopher Guest are our guests whenever we do that great number from A Mighty Wind. And now, typically what I would do is some other tune, Never. Never knew this, never. How about Never Knew Love Like This Before by Stephanie Mills? I would join her, make it into a duet. I've done it before. I do it again, except I got to go wandering off to my job. Yeah, I got to go moseying off to my job now, folks. It's about 10 minutes to 8. I'll be back either at lunch or after work. Thank you for listening. America is watching, so says the Daily News in their headline concerning the committee, the select committee. And yeah, they say that the head of the select committee, the chairman, that he thunders that it was a coup d'etat in our country. You know, the chairman's right about that. I've been quite clear about that. It was an attempted coup in our country, a very serious event. Now, again, I don't know that I really say it as well as I could, just how, severe it was. So I'm going to bring out Morning Joe. I am, from over a year ago, and his great speech, Love It or Leave It. Time travel.
America, love it or leave it. If you don't have respect in American democracy anymore, if you don't respect Madisonian checks and balances, if your guy doesn't win, if that's the new rules of engagement for this great republic, then just leave our country. Because you're unworthy of it. And there are millions of immigrants who will come here and raise their right hand and buy into the creed and believe that we are exceptional, that believe American democracy is the greatest government on the face of the earth. And they will do it proudly. They will salute the flag proudly. And most importantly, they will fight for what that flag represents. While you shame yourself. Will you disgrace yourself? Will you disgrace our country in the eyes of the world? Yes, this is all on you. Get the facts. Live in the light. Follow the truth. And love this country. And stop this. Or leave. Or leave. If you're going to believe a reality TV show host's lies about the American Republic, its desecration of American exceptionalism, then just get the hell out. We don't want you here. That's all I gotta say.
You couldn't have said it better.
Well, thank you.
No, I really appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
In our next hour, we're going to dig into the new Washington Post.
All right, Morning Joe. He's a passionate man. He's expressing his feelings, his love for this country. Now, the reality host he was referring to was, of course, the former president of the United States, President Trump. And he was talking about this, what they've come to call the big lie, the fact that the 2020 election was stolen, was rigged, and they're talking about these voting machines down in Arizona. Apparently, they've allowed some questionable people access to those machines, and a so-called audit of the, official tally of the state of Arizona for Joe Biden. And, Secretary of State of Arizona is warning people. I don't know that we can use these machines. They've been tainted, by these people.
Those cyber ninjas, that's right, that wacky audit company, basically a fake audit company. They went down to Arizona and they found absolutely nothing whatsoever to prove that there was anything other than a valid, legitimate election November 3rd of 2020. Yeah, Morning Joe. That's what's great about the Songboard. I happen to know when he did it. It was May the 21st of 2020. And then I popped in on top of it. I thought it was a fine thing, and very happy to be able to go back to it now. Now, Chris Wallace, formerly of Fox News, he says he's skeptical. Yeah, now, for those of you that don't know, Chris was asked to come over and do a job at CNN Plus, and then they got a new CEO over there. He shuttered CNN Plus, even though they hired a bunch of people to do it. And at the last minute, they decided they weren't going to do it, but they have retained the services of Chris Wallace, while other people that were brought over for CNN Plus were cut adrift, apparently. And so I'm going to sing a song now. It's my lunch hour, you understand. Had a busy morning doing echoes at the healthcare facility in which I work upstate New York. So Mr. Wallace thinks the whole thing's been hype. He's heard what Adam Kinzinger has said. He's heard what Liz Cheney has said. They promise really to change the dynamic, to change the thought, to change people's minds about January the 6th. I don't know if that's going to happen because, people are sitting there thinking, I guess. But here's Howard Jones. Talk about skepticans like Mr. Wallace. Well, Howard mentions skepticals or people that are skeptical.
Security shut through the wall. It's a change we have to realize. 1,000 skeptics won't keep us from the things we plan. Unless we're clinging to the things we prize. And do you feel scared? But the walls never falls up. And do we know it's all? Whoa.
From his album Dream into Action, Howard Jones with that great song. Switching now to the heartbeat of the Tri-County. You're listening to Lunchtime with the Oldies with Craig Stevens at the heartbeat of the Tri-County WCDL. I think this is a Beach Boys song, and I don't know it. So what I sometimes do is I just switch off to one that I know reasonably well, and that's what I do. And no, it's not. God only knows. Although it could be, but it isn't.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Jamaica, off and flow to the Keys. There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drinks and nothing in the hand. We'll be falling to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down the coast, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go to the club? We can take it fast and then we'll take it slow. Let's tell you wanna go. We gotta go. Beneath that Montserrat steep, looking out to sea, the perfect dark chemistry. By and by we'll defy a little bit of gravity. Afternoon delight, cocktails and midnight. That dreamy look in your eye, give me a drop, physical contact. Way down in Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go to the club? You can play fast and then we'll take it slow. Let's tell where you wanna go. We gotta go. Little Prince, I wanna catch a glimpse. Everybody knows a little place like Kokomo. Now if you wanna go and get away from it all, go down the Kokomo. Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down the Kokomo? You can play fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where you want.
vacay down there on my lunch hour. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, sometimes I roll right off of that, and, I do a Key Largo with Bertie Higgins, absolutely. Now, Mister, you better back it on down with this Kiri. I always think like, you have a dog by the name of Kiri and you're going outside, you're looking for your lost dog. Kiri, where are you? It is Mr. Fine, I'll let it go. Usually I don't do this because it's an incredibly difficult song, and, it has a special meaning too. Google that, Google the song Kiri by Mr. And you'll find out what it really means. Has nothing to do with a dog.
The wind blows hard against this mountainside, across the sea into my soul, reaches into where I cannot hide, setting my feet upon the road. Heart holds my memories. My body burns just like flame. Somewhere between the soul and sun machine is where I find myself again. When I was young, I thought of growing old, and what my life would mean to me. But I had followed down my chosen road, only wish what I could be. So down the road that I must travel.
Mr. It was an alphabetical thing. It came right after Kokomo, Kiri. That's a fantastic tune. And now, I'm going to switch back to now, is that a song that Craig Stevens at Lunchtime with the Oldies would do? No, he wouldn't do it. The reason is they do 50s, 60s, and 70s at Lunchtime with the Oldies. That's pure 80s, absolutely 80s sound with that one, absolutely.
WCDO. Oh, my, that's Ringo Starr on Lunchtime with the Oldies. How about a double shot of solo Beatles from Ringo to John Lennon on WCDO?
Whatever Gets You Through the Night, great song by John Lennon. And, of course, there's an Elton John twist to it. You know, John Lennon was working on it in the studio when Elton John came over to the studio. He came in. Elton John listened to it for a little while. He said, do you mind if I put some piano on that? And John Lennon said, no, please feel free. And he puts, boy, oh boy, did he ever put some piano on the great song, Whatever Gets You Through the Night. Then Elton John made a bet with John Lennon. He said, I'll bet you this is going to be a #1 song. And if I'm right, well, then you and I will perform it together, Madison Square Garden. We're talking back in the 70s now. And they did it. And it's a great version of the song. I've had this story on the program before. It turns out that was the last time we saw John Lennon performing live before an audience, Madison Square Garden, with Elton John. It's a fantastic story. And of course, it's philosophically and emotionally, to me, it's a pure thing. Whatever gets you through the night, that's fine. Enjoy. Whatever gets you through the night, love it, you know. It also reminds me of that story, John Lennon, Paul McCartney watching Saturday Night Live, because the song and its melody reminds me of something Saturday Night Live-ish, you know, if you will. And so, yes, I had this story about musical parodies that were done on Saturday Night Live. Someplace they had a top 10 list of it, and I used this song in the background while I read it. And then eventually, you know, I did some kind of musical interlude. It was the Bee Gees, you know, Barry Gibb. It was Mike Myers, I believe, the talk show. You know, I got up. I didn't get up. I sat right here in my chair in my car, and I sang the thing. Nights on Broadway, absolutely. I'd do it again. I think I'd do it again right now if I have time. But if I can type it in fast enough, you know, then yes, Nights on Broadway, a fantastic tune. I joined the Bee Gees in the singing of it. Sure, I do BJ stuff. You should hear my More Than a Woman by the Bee Gees, or Tavares, either one. More Than a Woman from the Saturday Night Live soundtrack album, or what have you. Standing in the dark, where your eyes can see me. Well, I had to follow you, though you did not want me to. was a lot of fun for me, I'll tell you. Now I'm going to switch back to the heartbeat of the Tri-County. I got to go in a few minutes, back to my job.
Call 563-2828.
At the Amphenol Corporation in Sydney, we have a wide range of positions.
All right, the Amphenol Corporation, folks, they're looking for trained machinists, tool and die makers. They're looking for them today. You can get a great job at Amphenol. Contact them today. And Amphenol, that's not the same as ethanol. And yes, then I would do Need You Now with Lady A, a song that speaks to, drinking in effect. And it's 1:15. No, it's not, folks. It's time for me to get back to my job. It's about 12:30. I'm due back around 12:40. And I'll be back this evening after work. She knows. And knows. Yeah, lady that I work with. Yes, she knows. Because she told another lady that I work with, she said, click the link and it will bring you to YouTube and you can find all of them and you will also be able to subscribe. And I responded. I said, absolutely. Thumbs up emoji, 2 heart sunglasses emoji. Absolutely. In the background from his album hits, this huge hit from the motion picture Buster, Phil Collins with 2 hearts. And I'm at the 2 heart sunglasses supermarket. The time is, it's almost 7 o'clock. Yep. And, that all came about because I had promised them a while back that I'd send them a link to the show. And so I sent them, two. I sent them a link to last Friday's show, June 3rd, which was Dr. C's birthday. And I also sent them a link to the Sunday show. Absolutely. Sunday show, Sunday Sunrise. And this past Sunday, it was on relaxation. And, it was a fantastic show. Had a lot of great fun doing that. Let's go ahead and bring out Phil Collins with another great tune that Phil sings. And it really could be any one of a number of the songs from his solo career, or indeed his work with Genesis. For example, on my second Love album for Faye, had a great Genesis song on it. And yes, it was in the Phil Collins era. Sometimes I sing songs. No, I don't. From the Peter Gabriel era. I sing some songs sometimes from Peter's solo career, like Salisbury Hill, In Your Eyes, and, other hits. But, no, I typically don't go to the older Genesis stuff. And it's not to disparage the older stuff or anything. I just usually, I'm kind of Phil and the whole thing. So, yes, absolutely. But, yeah, I did select Follow You, Follow Me for Faye. Yep. So, it's basically a love ballad. This from the album Turn It On Again by Genesis. So.
Stay with me,
Yeah, so absolutely, follow me, click on subscribe. Thank you very much. And like, I appreciate it. And I'll be right back. You're listening to The Morning Show. Reporting for NBC News, myself. All right, this is from NBC News, though, however. And it's one of those shocking stories that when I saw it, my mouth just dropped. I'm like, what? Texas pastor says gay people should be shot in the back of the head in a shocking sermon. Pastor Dylan Oz of Steadfast Baptist Church in Watauga. There's something seriously wrong with this man. This man has something seriously wrong with him if he wants to line up any people and shoot them in the back of the head. This would be one of those wacky people I've been talking about lately, Absolutely, regardless of his status as a pastor. Now, I'm a Christian man. I don't recall anything in my faith saying, well, actually, thou shalt not kill to begin with from the Ten Commandments, so we can start back there. But this is a very radical says. He says, all are dangerous to society and all homosexuals are pedophiles. And, well, I'm going to read the story provided by NBC News online and written by Minya Von Burke. Now, Ms. Burke, if I mispronounced your first name, I apologize. It's a lovely name, and I just have never said it before. A Texas Baptist church labeled an anti-LGBT hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center has caused outrage after a pastor said that gay people should be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head. Pastor Dylan Oz of Steadfast Baptist Church in Watauga, a suburb of Fort Worth, made the comment and other controversial remarks during a Sunday morning sermon entitled, Why We Won't Shut Up. He said, I'm angry this morning because our entire country is celebrating the worst sin in the Bible, Oz said during a sermon referring to Pride Month, which commemorates the LGBTQ community every June. Now, I don't know about that statement. That's a radical statement in and of its own. And this is the guy that's going to figure out which sins in the Bible are worse. This guy that wants to shoot people in the back of the head. I'm pretty sure that that's mentioned in the Bible is just wrong. Now, this guy's a wacky guy. He says, a lot of pastors have this stupid idea where it's just like, God loves everyone and God hates the sin but loves the sinner. But people have taken this to such an extreme where they're saying celebrate the sin, not just tolerate it, celebrate it. Let me show what the Bible says about these people. The Pastor Oz, read several passages from the Bible and condemned homosexuality as a sin. At one point, he told the congregation that gay people are dangerous to society and said, all homosexuals are pedophiles. Then he says, I'm not saying that every single homosexual that's alive right now has committed that act with a child already, because it could be they haven't had the opportunity yet, and they will at some point later in their life. This is why we need to put these people to death through the proper channels of the government. These people are not normal. They're not your average everyday sinners. They have no hope of salvation, the man says. Now, I must say that in our society that we live in our lawful society in the United States of America, we do not have this thing about shooting people in the back of the head as one of the proper channels of our government. I would challenge this man, Mr. Oz, to a debate on this subject. I'll argue he's crazy as a loon and that his philosophy is completely radical and wrong-headed, and he can, say this stuff in the debate. Now, it says here, at certain times during the sermon, people from the crowd could be heard cheering in agreement. The pastor told the room that he thinks the solution for the homosexual in 2022 is the death penalty. This guy sounds like basically, going big. You guys know, those that follow my program, I'm a huge history buff. This guy sounds like some kind of Nazi thug to me. This guy, he says they're going to round up all the homosexuals. He's going to go after them. And he's going to, put him in a ditch and shoot him in the back of the head? Is that what this guy is saying he's going to do? Not in this country. We will never allow this guy. They're probably going to end up locking this guy up. Anyway, he says, these people should be put to death. Every single homosexual in our country should be charged with a crime. The abomination of homosexuality that they have, that they should be convicted in a lawful trial. They should be sentenced with death. They should be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head, he said. And he may not have heard about our Constitution and its prohibitions against cruel and unusual punishment. He may not be aware that this is a totally unlawful thing that he has suggested, and just immoral, deeply immoral. And I'm deeply offended by what he says. Now, it says here, many people on social media criticize the pastor, with some labeling his remarks as a violent threat to the community. Yeah, the man's comments are a danger to our society, and I would say a grave danger. What if he had some kid, some wacky kid? We've seen a lot of that lately, haven't we? Like, let's say he's like, how about 19? I'll pick on that age. He's under 21, and he's maybe he's one of the parishioners of this pastor, and he's like, hey, my pastor said that. That's almost like coming from God himself. And he goes out and buys himself, of course, Texas. We all know about Governor Greg Abbott and his previous challenge, his state versus California. Greg Abbott, big cheerleader for the gun lobby. He said he wanted to beat California in a tweet that he cannot hide. The American people know about this tweet where he challenged the Texans to buy more guns than all the people of California could ever buy. And, he can't stand back from it now. And I don't think he wants to. I mean, this guy's been a gun guy, and I don't think he wants to stand back from it. Maybe he's for guys like this. Now, this guy right here, this would be a guy that would be a dangerous guy to have an assault weapon, especially since he's already said that he'd like to see people put up against the wall and shot in the back of the head. This is the kind of a strange guy. Anyway, so yeah, definitely this guy is, so, you could have a kid hear this and go out and act on what his pastor said. Nowadays, boy, encouraging the execution of gay persons is not protected speech, that one Twitter user wrote, going on to say, Dylan Oz should be considered a domestic terrorist in charge. Another said that the pastor's comment makes the LGBTQ plus community a huge target, and the pastor needs to be on the FBI watch list. I would agree at a minimum. This guy should be watched. Sounds like a very dangerous person. Other people complain to the police department down there, prompting it to issue a statement on Wednesday while denouncing any message that promotes hatred. The department said that his comments are certainly protected by free speech. I agree with that statement. Wacky people out there in this country. That's why we live in such a great country. The greatest country in the history of the world. We have free speech. We can say any wacky thing we want out there. And that's fine, but you'll always have to be held accountable for what you say. If this guy loses his position, he loses his job as a pastor of that church or whatever, and he comes under fire, that's his own fault. I hope he's not going to start crying cancel culture, and we're supposed to feel sorry for him when people criticize him, and, he may have consequences for himself. Now, it's a statement from the police. They say, first, the Watauga Police Department would like to affirm our commitment to making Watauga a great place to live for all people. The Watauga Police Department values diversity and will continue to protect people's rights to express their identities. Any message that promotes hatred towards any class or group of people is absolutely counter to the culture of the Watauga Police Department. The language used by the pastor of the Steadfast Baptist Church is likely to be offensive to many people. However, at this time, the reported language of the sermon appears to be constitutionally protected free speech. We will continue to monitor this evolving situation. Oz could not be reached at a phone number listed for him. The church's main pastor, Jonathan Shelley, defended Oz, saying in a lengthy statement that America has weakened the punishments for homosexuality, meaning that at present, so far as I know, it's legal for people to be gay. There's no restrictions against that, nor do I believe that there should be laws against people loving whoever they want to love. That's my I've been very clear about my opinion on this show, but yeah, this is complete nonsense. And this whole nonsense about that there should be punishments, of what type, jail sentences. Are we going to go back to the days? Why, it wasn't too long ago, really, in the whole history of, our being that, people, the punishments could have been castration for that person, male, certainly, a male gay guy, as has happened before. And I could talk to you about what happened to Alan Turing, the guy who cracked the Enigma code machine in World War II, or you can watch the movie and you'll clearly find out that if that was a punishment for him, do you think he was the only guy affected with castration based upon his sexual preference? So it's happened. The British government apologized for it a long time ago. So it absolutely did. But yeah, this is a crazy, wacky thing, and it'll be interesting to see on a follow-up whatever happens with this Texas pastor. Maybe nothing at all. We'll find out in the future. Now, coming up, it is an apartment karaoke tradition. Timothy B. Schmidt, that's right, from the Eagles, with his great tune from his solo career Friday night, in just a moment. Okay, I'm going to turn down Malibu's AC. I'm going to get it real quiet, for Timothy. He's coming out right now. This great tune.
Hold on, let's end this conversation. We need to take a break, and I don't want to fight. I've had a minor revelation. Let's deal with it later, 'cause it's Friday night. All week we've been working so hard, and now it's time to kick back and set our sights. We can make it pretty simple, put it on the back burner. It's a Friday night. Feel that warm breeze floating through the window. Sure do like it this way. Something tells me this is the way to go. I've got a few things to say. Slip into your best dress, paint your lips red. Open up your blue eyes, forget the things we said. I could be your lover, you can shine the light. Let's fire up the candle, it's a Friday night. Let's go look for hidden treasure. I wanna dig it up while the moon is bright. No more living under pressure. Gotta see your eyes sparkle. It's a Friday night. Roll that big world right off your shoulders. I will try to do the same. If we don't act now, we'll simply grow older. Another faded picture in a frame. Button up your blue jeans, tumble down your hair. Take a look around, we can do it anywhere. You can be my princess, I'll be what you like. Let's run around the palace, it's a Friday night. Woo! sure do like it this way. Something tells me this is the way to go. I've got a few words to say. Slip into your best dress, paint your lips red. Open up your blue eyes, forget the things we said. I could be your lover, you can shine the light. Let's burn another candle, it's a Friday night.
Timothy B. Schmidt and Friday Night. I love that. I'll be right back. You're listening to The Morning Show. Okay, so I do have a follow-up, and yes, I think it's an extremely important story for my listeners. This whole thing that was discussed on yesterday's program, the coach's comments dust-up. Of course, he was referring to the January 6th insurrection as a dust-up, which it was not. It was a very violent event and an attack upon our citadel of democracy, the United States Capitol. Capitol police officers were injured, as well as Metro Police. You guys know the backstory. People were killed there at the United States Capitol in this heinous assault, failed insurrection. So anyway, the coach has been fined $100,000 by the NFL. For that, you know, and so I'm not going to read the story. I just thought, I might mention the fact that despite his apology, there were still consequences for making such a nonsensical statement as that, as there would be. Now, I'm going to finish up now with a song in a moment. You're listening to The Morning Show. Okay, so here's the final song of the program today, and it is Stephanie Mills. Heard a little piece of it before on today's program. The intro, and now I'm going to do the whole thing. I am.
You are my new life.
Stephanie Mills from her album, The Best of Stephanie Mills, and that definitely qualifies. Now, here's the honest truth. It never recorded. For me, it's Saturday morning. Yeah, it ended like right after I said I'll be back with the final song, and it never recorded. So I just came out and did it again. I'll splice the two of them together, and that's how it's done again. I pre-record here at apartmentkaraoke.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll join me again next week on The Morning Show.